Hey, hey, hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnouttooallout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in.
I want to say that I just put out my offer in a beta test and on Friday, and I haven't heard anything back from anybody. Some people have reached out to me to know more about it, but those I've sent out information to, they haven't said anything. So I'm hearing crickets, but my win is that I'm still holding the space. I know it's coming. I'm not losing my marbles over it. So I think that's a huge deal for me. So my question for today is, I was thinking of doing follow-ups in, like we talked about yesterday, in messages. And I wondered if you could review what I want to say and give me some pointers on whether this sounds good, or should I change it, or should I be focused on a particular thing? Just whatever you think is appropriate. So this is what I was thinking. Hey, whoever, just following up on the offers I sent you earlier. The program is going to be opening up to the public. So I wanted to make sure if you had any questions that they would get answered. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay. Thank you. This is going as a voice message. Does that sound okay?
Yes. Help me understand. Can you take me through the conversation, like with one particular person? So give me a scenario. Put a lead in your mind and take me back to your first interaction with them. Take me on your customer journey.
So when somebody comes into my ethos, either I connected with them or they connected with me, I let them know immediately that I'm building this community of like-minded accountants. And so then the next thing I would do is to follow up with that is I'll ask them a question about what is one thing in your business or career that you could use more support in. Because obviously, as part of the community, I want to serve everybody in wherever they are, not just to sell my services. So then I would link them with other things that they're interested in. But if they say they're interested in client acquisition or they want to do marketing, so I'm sharing with them the program that I've just built. So that's how they ended up with my messages, who showed interest that they're interested in these services. And I shared them. I asked their permission if they were interested that I would share that or put them on a list. And then when my program was ready, I sent them information that, this program is ready to go, and let me know if you have any questions. So from that point on, now I'm at that phase where they haven't communicated anything with me. Now I want to know what to do next.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm hearing is kind of like top of funnel through your beta is that it's been through network growth, discovery in the DMs. And then when you uncover a need for product or service and you ask them if they'd be interested in taking a look, when they say yes, you've positioned your product or service, but then from there, you haven't been able to close, right? So a couple of things, and I think this is important for everyone to hear. And the first one is that, does anybody know how many touches on average it takes for a client to actually purchase? This is through social media. It's actually 20 now. And this was data that Jackie pulled from a marketing, like she went to like the top marketing guru, like training event earlier this year. So the number may be even higher now. So the reason I want to bring this forward is I don't want you to feel defeated. I think that actually you just haven't built enough rapport with these people to be selling them. I think that you've just had a couple of hits in the DMs. You found people that you had common ground with and had some initial pleasantries and uncovered potential needs, but you haven't actually gained the authority and the familiarity to actually sell. And I think that one of the fastest ways to expedite that would be to host even like a 90-minute or a 60-minute kind of what we call like a conversion event. Like think about like my 9-day and then put it into like 60 minutes, like where they actually get some interactive time with you in kind of a community of sorts, especially if what you're offering is going to be in a community of coaching. So they can get a sense of your personality and your knowledge. And towards the end of that 60 minutes, usually at about the 39th minute, who's counting? I've studied the whole psychology of this. Usually by about the 39th minute, you need to be pitching them something. And so I honestly think that I applaud you for putting this out. For those of you guys who don't know, she actually opened her cart and pitched on a Friday, which we told her Fridays is probably not the best day to get started on pushing somebody into a sale. There's a reason our carts close on Tuesday because Monday and Tuesday are the best days for people psychologically to invest. And so what I would love to see you do is see if there's not like a VIP day or like, how can you create value for these guys a little bit more before you actually sell them? To me, all these people who said they're interested go into kind of a hot leads list where you're cordially inviting them to something to bring value because they probably just don't know you well enough and haven't experienced your genius enough to really make a conscious decision to just purchase through the DMs. What was your price point as well?
So both of my programs are discounted because it's in a beta version. So initial cost for website is to be $5,000, but it's off this program, which is $2,500. And then there's quite a few perks doing it this way for the people. The coaching program, the cost is $1,500. And I'm selling it for $255. And there's limited spots. Like I'm only doing it for like 3 websites and 10 coaching people.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I think even for us, like if you're going to sell something at the $5,000 price point, people need to spend a number of days with you live to make that decision and investment. Anything under about 1,900 to 1,500, you can get away with 60 minutes of time with them. People are more willing to part with, again, it's all just kind of based on the psychology of people's familiarity with you and being able to invest. It's a hard sell to take someone from connection to close on a 5K offer or even a 2.5K offer in the DMs without like really spending a little bit of time with them. The funnel we have that we're putting up right now, which is like $997, there's a 60-minute webinar that goes along with it. So they're spending time with me before we're selling them, right? Now, that's different. I just want to underscore that is different than a loyal audience. Okay, gang, we need to take a quick hydration break. So grab your drink of choice. And as you rehydrate, I'll give you the lowdown on my free LinkedIn lead gen masterclass. If you feel like you're screaming into the void when you post content on Facebook or Instagram, struggling to find a sustainable and scalable lead generation process that sticks, and you just want someone who's been there and done that to reveal their secrets, then it's critical that you register to save your spot ASAP. During this live masterclass, you'll get to steal the exact strategy I used to scale my income from $0 to 1 million in just 19 months without spending a fortune on ads or suffering from burnout. Simply check out the show notes of the podcast episode for the link to register for your free spot in the LinkedIn Lead Gen Masterclass. And don't worry, even if you miss a couple of days or you can't make it to all the training sessions, we'll deliver the replays directly into your inbox daily so you can watch them on your own time. All you have to do is make sure you sign up for the masterclass before registration ends. That already knows you. So last year over Black Friday, you guys will be a part of the list this year, right? Last year over Black Friday, we did 100, but it wasn't through the DMs with strangers. It was through really warm clients who'd already worked with us. And we sent them irresistible offers through email that they knew us, they've gotten results, they're ready for the next step, and they invested, right? That's a different client base to sell to automatically with a little button to purchase versus someone that you're still nurturing. So your question to me was, how does the messaging sound to let them know that you're opening up to the public? I know Jackie and I kind of told you this yesterday. I still would love for you to actually take that list and like offer them to like a VIP, like 90-minute or 60-minute strategy session, like some value they're going to get out of it, and create an offer for them that's irresistible before you hang up that has an intense time limit on it so that they've connected with you a little more, and create some space for Q&A so they can ask you questions. I just think that right now, like, I don't want you to beat yourself up for not having any sales. These people just, I don't think they know you well enough to invest in you. I think that's the bottom line. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think even though I've been communicating and like engaging in comments, and I know people are following me, I know that they sense me as I know my stuff, but it's a different ballgame when you have to pull out your credit card and pay for something, right? So I totally get that. Jackie also actually mentioned it to me today about a mini conversion event. So then do you think that I should not follow up at all and just do that event instead?
Yeah, I think that too much follow up, it's going to come across desperate, right? If you follow up now and you're like, hey, I'm about to go public, and then you follow up in a little bit and you're like, okay, now I'm doing this thing. I would just hold off on the follow-up for now and take this as feedback. Like, to me, all of it's just feedback until you arrive at your next steps of action. So this was just feedback that like, okay, this particular strategy is not quite working right. I can't tell you how many pieces of spaghetti I've thrown against the wall that have not stuck before I figured out what worked. I would go back to the drawing board and think about an irresistible, like 60 to 90 minute events, and you're in business basics, right? So we can just totally give you my deck for my 60-minute webinar, and you'll see at the 39th slide is when I start to pitch. You need to bring value. And then you need to make sure by the 39th minute, like you're ready to start pitching like some type of stacked offer that has a deadline to it with something irresistible so that they take action. Like, we're adults that need a deadline or we won't take action. I am a classic result of this. Bali. By the way, I have been planning on going to Bali since the beginning of this year, but didn't purchase it till last week. Why? Because my mentor didn't make it. She never made it a deadline for me. She never, ever made it a deadline till this past week when she said, are you coming? Are you going to pay? Like, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yes. Here's my $8,500. Like, there just has to be a deadline or people will procrastinate till the last minute. And then you're robbing them of the transformation. To me, it's not about sales. It's about robbing them of the transformation by not giving them a deadline and them delaying their future by not working with you. So you're doing them a favor.
Yeah, no, totally. I kind of time traveled. You would know all that woo-woo stuff. And I've seen people come to me and say, hey, why didn't you tell me this was going to be a big offer, because I missed out on this opportunity, right? Because I know that I'm going big. They don't know it, right? So,
yeah.
So then what do you think that if I put this conversion event on next Monday, because I was intending to close cart on Monday, but do the conversion event on Monday and then close cart the following day? Because the program doesn't start until the Friday, which is the 18th.
Yeah, I would give it a couple days so you have a little bit of time to follow up, but not too long. Like, I would say like max 3 to 5 days. But again, And you guys just went through my launch. A lot of you also just want to create like literally a buy now bonus. If you ask Jackie, she can give you the replay to my webinar. Literally, I am streaming live, and you guys who again went through my 9-day, those who fast action in the first 24 hours got ridiculous value. They got stacked on something else. And the people who really are like ready for transformation, they're going to be in, and you're just going to help motivate them. And those are the clients who are like the most motivated to take action anyway, right? So I would highly recommend that you put something out there that's literally on the table till you're done streaming that day, or that's like over that night. Like I would actually say that day, especially since it's a 1 day, like literally an offer that's irresistible. Even if it's going to be more time for you, if it's something that's going to require more work for you with the web design and all that stuff, right now you need to be building your client base. So we have testimonials and we can really stack that. I know this may sound a little crazy for some of you guys, but when you're first getting started, it's about getting some good clients and getting them results and not being so focused on profit margins. Once you've got the results, then you can just start jacking your price up. I mean, I started my academy at $100 and now it's supply and demand, right? So I would give like a buy now bonus to just jump your cart, and it creates FOMO, right? That there's people joining, and then give like a 2 to 3 day deadline to actually commit before the doors close, or that your price goes up to retail, which is $5,000 instead of $2.5. And you can pitch it. Hey, you guys are my beta group. I'm so excited to bring you in. I'm giving you my beta pricing before I go public. And here's where the line ends with the pricing going up.
So, sorry, just to clarify then, can I go with this conversion event maybe this Thursday or Friday, close cart on Monday, because apparently that's a good day to close cart, and then I have a few days left to build the program because I haven't really built the program.
Listen, I sold the academy before I ever built it. I actually just made the start date 2 weeks after I sold a cohort large enough in to make it worth my time to build. And I hope all of you follow suit, because otherwise we build shit that nobody buys. And then you're really frustrated when you go to sell it and nobody buys it and you spent all that time on it. Just give the start date further out. The first time we launched Business Basics, we made the start date like 2 months out so we could get our act together before we pushed it out. When we launched our first mastermind, we like 3 months out before we actually started. You don't want to go that far out, but I think what's more important, and this is for all of you guys who want to do conversion events, I wouldn't rush the launch date for compensating, aggregating an audience, right? You need to be realistic with how many people you can get in front of the content you're about to share, because it does you no good to rush a date if you don't have time to source like asses in seat to actually present to, because there's not going to be anybody to buy. So unless you have like some huge financial deadline that you need to hit this revenue goal by X amount, I would actually give yourself a larger runway than you're giving yourself right now. Like we market for our programs like 2 to 3 weeks out before we actually, I think a 2-week runway for recruitment for a conversion event is a really healthy timeline. And then give yourself ample time for follow-up and close so that you have time in your calendar to look people eye to eye, answer their questions. So I would give yourself a little more time than you're giving yourself right now so that you can actually aggregate a large enough audience to show up. Thanks, guys, so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Okay, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. Cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.